This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hello, I'm Helene Woods, and this is Let's Quilt, episode number 8. Today we're going to be cutting out our single patches here, and then we're going to be connecting them to our 9 patches. I've straightened the edge on my fabric here. I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3.5 inches at the top and the bottom. I'm going to cut 2 of these. Now I'm going to take my smaller ruler and I'm going to subcut these into 22 3.5 inch squares. Before I start cutting off my 3.5 inch strips, I've had the folded edge here on our fabric, and I like to move it over about 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm just going to cut that off, and that'll give us a nice even start for our next 3.5 inch strips. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these. This is what our strips are going to look like for the long side, and I'm going to show you how to connect those together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single squares, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 9 patch. So how we do that, we'll take a 9, I have mine all stacked up here, and I have all my colors going in the correct direction, and I just take one of these and I place that right on top of the, and then I'm just going to make sure that the edges are even, and I'm going to pin these, and I like to pin them about twice. I have all my little units all put together here, and I'm going to start chaining these together. So here I'm going to start it. Now remember, 1/4 inch seams. Here goes the second piece in. There again, I take 3 or 4 stitches, then I slide my other little unit in and we'll sew right along that 1/4 inch seam. Okay, now we're going to cut these all apart. We're going to now, we press towards the dark side, which is our single square. That would be fine. Now I have a little bend here in my fabric. I think that's where the fold was on it. So I'm just going to give that a squirt of starch, and then I'm going to press it down. Let's see how that looks. Yes, that will be fine. So we'll do that with each of these 5. Now we're going to continue joining these. Now you're going to start with a plain single square first, and then your 9 patch. And we're going to put those right sides together, and we're going to pin those too. Now what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do as many of these as I can and not lose my place is what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to need another plain one and another patch, so I'm going to put those together. We can continue chaining these together. Now I have to add one little piece here that I have extra to make our full strip here. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to sew it. We have one last little piece that we're going to add on here, so I'm going to take this over and place it on top, right sides together, and 1/4 inch. For the short side, we're going to connect these, and we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 9 patches and 1, 2, 3 of the single squares. For our inside border, we're going to have to cut 3 3.5 inch strips. Now we're going to cut the center of our table runner. Now we have all the pieces we're going to be needing for our table runner finished. And when the next time we get together, we're going to start building it. So I'll see you next time.